Hey, what is going on, everyone? Hope you have been enjoying the LFG series, and today we are talking about the gear decisions I've made. This is something I was sort of planning to do, I guess, at the start of each video, and what I'm going to do now going forward. But I kind of am almost close to capping my conquest, so I wanted to do a quick vid on what items I picked and why, all this kind of stuff. So I guess firstly my legendary. My legendary is Seifu's Proclamation. I chose this because I figured, look, there's a couple of reasons why I probably wouldn't do this if I was maining this character. But firstly, it gives me a chest piece at the max eye level, which is a huge amount of stats versus shoulders or a ring or gloves. Because chest has just the highest primary stats, chest, helmet, and legs all have the same sort of stat template. And having a really good chest is going to be super beneficial to sort of getting that gear progression up, getting that stam up as well, that effective HP. So even with relatively low eye level, sort of 213 equipped, 214 equipped, uh, have 36k HP, which I'm kind of happy with. Um, so I decided to go with this one first, and a lot of people kind of don't understand that there was quite a bit of prep in getting this account ready before the push. Did Torghast did all the renowned campaign stuff, so it wasn't like I was starting like I made this from scratch. So for an alt, you're gonna have to grind a couple of Torg. Think realistically three or 4 weeks, to get your max one, probably a bit more actually, maybe five. Um, so yeah, highly recommend getting Seifu's if you are an orc because it's super versatile, as I've talked about in other videos. 30% stun reduction, 10% off all other CC, and 80 secondaries when you charge or stun, all this kind of stuff. So you can pretty much get this secondary bonus on cooldown. The other thing I made next, well, I got the helmet from my first vault. So I sort of got lucky there. We're getting a really big primary stat one. I actually only had one option as well. So very lucky with the helmet. Verse Mast, I would have preferred verse crit because I'm trying a verse crit build on this account, but not really a big deal. A little bit of mastery doesn't hurt. So what I decided to go with next is I upgraded pretty much based on what my lowest eye level pieces were. So I have a 207 belt which I got from the world boss. So I pretty much put the belt last in terms of upgrade priority, and I had like a decent ring. So I went and spent probably around, I'd probably say about 400k, 450k on BOEs. Big reason for that is I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible, and whatever gear you can get from BOEs you can get. Obviously, you'll probably, if you have not much gold, go for the 200 eye level or 213 variants. The last week I just bought these because they're just a really good item. They're pretty cheap in the auction house. I think they were like 325, 300k. So I nabbed those, and overall probably spent about 5 tokens worth or 4 tokens worth on BOEs. So while this isn't necessarily a replicable strategy, I'd probably just replace whatever I have as BOEs with Conquest or PV, like the Honor Gear 197 stuff. I do recommend, if you do have the gold and you have the time, to just get the BOEs because they are going to be pretty much better than most items you can get when you're first starting out. You're looking at 213 or 226, depending on how much gold you want to spend. Definitely worth it. If you can find cheaper ones, like this one was only like 130 or 140k with a socket on it, so I was pretty stoked about that. I even got the gloves just to boost the eye level up. And the gloves are actually quite good if you look at them. So what I bought next with Conquest, I believe, was getting the legs. The legs, because that way I have a good helmet, I have a good chest, and good legs. It means my three primary items are like the best you can possibly get, um, in terms of having Conquest. I obviously have to upgrade these to the rival and duelist later, but uh, pick these ones because they have good primaries. Um, they're relatively, you know, I don't know, like you can't really get crit verse on this, but haste verse is still fine in the build I'm running. So after that, I sort of went and just to replace boots, and ring and neck. I had a really bad neck, so neck was I think the first one of those. Really, really bad neck. Neck. The conquest neck gives you a lot of versatility, and obviously with the 2 set bonus from trinkets, versatility is quite a big deal. It makes you do way more damage. If you compare it to crit or haste, like having 3 or 4 more% verse averages out to actually being more like 5.6% damage increase, which isn't shown on the tooltip, but that's why I went for the like necks and rings, even though they don't have primary stat. But I have pretty good items in every other slot. The challenger boots, like all this stuff is challenger. I went and upgraded all this stuff sort of uniformly. So I went and found the lowest eye level piece, 200, 207, brought it to 213. Went to the next piece, 213. I didn't actually bother upgrading anything to 220 except the weapon. So what I did was I waited 2 resets before I built the weapon. So I had 2 vault rewards. Didn't get lucky in either of those. Maybe I'll get the weapon this week, but I already bought it. So I figured I was going to give myself 2 weeks. I mean, if you have a lot of time and you don't have any rush to actually play your character maybe until later in the season, you just want to push a certain rating, you'd rather just save Conquest and get max gear, you can also just wait and see if you get the weapon. So the next thing after that is the ring. I think the rings are kind of similar to the next situation. The majority of rings that you could, like the other rings you can get, I think I had a world boss one, was 89 verse. You're getting an extra like 40 verse, right? Pretty insane. And I put the enchants, 2 versatility enchants on this. In terms of trinkets, trinkets pretty straightforward. I got the BM trinket from the vault, and because I'm pretty low gear, the BM trinket actually saved my life so many times. Because if I pop the BM trinket, I'm about 50k HP, and if I rally, I'm at 61k. So that's without talenting to rally too. It means that a lot of the times I'll get bursted pretty quickly. So having the huge amount of HP from that every 2 minutes is nice. It gives me a safety net where I would have potentially just fallen over. If somebody's convoking, it's much more unlikely that they're going to convoke for 61k damage, 61k HP. Uh, although my verse isn't super high, and my HP isn't super high, it's only like 4,000, 5,000 lower than my main now. So we're definitely catching up way faster than expected. PvP trinket, I upgraded this last, so you only get like 10 strength from upgrading your 158 to 184 trinket, and then probably 8 or 9 strength going from 184 to 197. So it's not like a huge priority. What it is good for though is it amps your eye level. That's why I went and upgraded the lowest eye level piece in my set, because obviously eye level makes a big deal when you're applying to groups in LFG. Once you're at sort of like 220, 226 eye level, like I feel like people stop caring about your gear. It's all the same at that point. So for this series, I'm like, well, look, I'm going to go and make sure I have good eye level, good HP. Even though maybe it was smarter to upgrade pieces like my belt, um, or cape and stuff like that. Not really cape, but upgrade other pieces that might have had more primary or more stamina stats. I felt like upgrading everything at once to 213 was better because now my level isn't too bad for the CR that I'm applying at. It's about maybe 5 eye levels lower than the average. So, what will be the next plan? Well, the next plan will be upgrading the trinket out to 197, which shouldn't take too long, maybe 2000 honor or something. Going and upgrading, or sorry, crafting, purchasing the gloves with Conquest, So that means I have every piece with versatility, which should put my verse to roughly 30%, which is a nice baseline to have. Obviously, we're going the full crit verse build, so, probably looking at hopefully having about 18-19% crit once all the dust is settled. If it's lower, probably also looking at getting the on-use PvP trinket because it has 100 crit on it. So that way I get maybe about 2 or 3% more crit than normal. So yeah, I guess the strategy and how I'm gearing is very much weighted towards more of a cleave type of build. Turbo Ret Warrior, which unfortunately I haven't really had the chance to play at all during this series. But I think that's going to be a key to my next push up, um, especially since we're sort of in the 1950 CR bracket. Want to kind of go to 2.1k after this reset and keep pushing that. I hope you guys have all enjoyed these videos. I think people don't realize how many games actually like I just get shit on. Uh, Anyone who watches the stream will see that. So yeah, I apologize if I've kind of handpicked the clips too much, um, because yeah, I don't want to make you guys feel like hey I'm just smashing it. It's the easiest thing in the world. It's actually kind of difficult. It's taken me like a week to get to this rating, a bit more, and generally I feel like if I was on my main with my main gear with people I could play with, it would be 2.4 at least now. Even with like the same gear as I've got on this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Take it easy. Let me know what you think. If you have any gearing questions, just also made this as a video for the stream. So yeah, check out the stream if you want to watch the LFG games live. Take it easy. Peace.